What is going on, guys? Noah here with Custom RC Mods. As you can see here today, we've got some new packages to open. We got a new quad in. Today we're going to be unboxing it, of course, then setting it up with my Spectrum DX6, getting everything configured in beta flight, and then we're going to take it out for a test hover. I'm super excited here. Let's go ahead and see what's inside the box. Alright, so this is another acquisition off of RC Groups, and I'm really happy. Got a nice price on this, but let's go ahead, open it up, and see what we got here. Looks like we got a quad, of course, right here. This one is a Reaper frame, so it's a multi-rotor Mania Reaper frame on here. Looks like we've got some other little goodies, landing skids, extra arms. This is like the 6-inch arm conversion kit in here as well as some props and an antenna right here as well. So this is a nice clover leaf there as well. That's everything in the box. So let's go ahead and take a look at this quad. Like I said, this is the multi-rotor Mania Reaper frame. These are Hawksky 2306 2500 kV motors, so something really serious for such a small quad right here. And it is the X shape, so that's nice. All your shock is going to be going straight through it. And that's good for added durability and performance as well. We do have a GoPro Session mount that I will be taking off here because I currently do not have a GoPro Session, so no need to have one on top, or no need to have the mount on top, but maybe down the road this will become useful on here as well. And then of course these props do look to be some HQ props, the V1S. These are super nice props if you guys have any clue about the props. The V1S is pretty much a well-known standard of really high quality props there. So that's a nice step forward. We're included. We'll be using these right here as well. Bottom mount battery on this quad here, but I'm really not having too much of a problem with that. We got quite a bit of UMA grip on the bottom here to keep that in place. Luminaire battery strap on there as well. ESCs with some prop protection, so that's super nice because these polycarbonate props can just bend down and just slash your ESC right there. And then the SC board inside is some sort of mini board, and the camera is a genuine run cam. The current receiver in there is a Futaba, which obviously I do not fly Futaba, I fly Spectrum. So that's what this package has in it right here. This is from Ready Made RC. And it is the Spectrum 4650 receiver, so it's an SRXL2 receiver that I'm running up here in the Schizo Nova, and I was going to be running it in the Space One Meteor. However, I got a different one in there as well. This is a super nice quality receiver with telemetry, all little bells and whistles, and works really well with these quads. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get into tuning this thing up. I'm going to go ahead and clean it a little bit as well, because as you might be able to tell, there's a little bit of grass stain and things like that all over this just due to the wear and crashing it. But other than that, super excited with this thing, so let's go ahead and get that done. Alright guys, so as you can see, the Reaper has been completed and it is all set up, ready for flight. The main thing, of course, we did was go ahead and install that receiver. It's a Spectrum 4650, and I had to go ahead and solder the signal wire onto the TX UART3 pad for the bidirectional communication link that SRXL2 provides. I also upgraded the FC board to Betaflight 4.11 from the original 4.0, and unfortunately I did lose the original PID loop from the previous owner, which was apparently really smooth, as well as all the other configuration. I did not do a full chip erase, but something happened, so I'm just not really totally sure what happened there. But yeah, apparently that was really smooth, so that's unfortunate. Anyway, I also went ahead and cleaned it up and retaped the arms there with the props on top just so that it'd look a little bit cleaner, and I'm really happy with the overall results here. I did learn a little bit more about the components inside. First things first being the FC board. It is a Omnibus F4 V6 board, and it's mounted on a 20 by 20 stack, which if you guys are familiar with quads, you know that's a micro stack, but there is an adapter in there. So it's a micro FC, no problem, it's F4, and it sounded like the CPU load was being really well distributed on this thing, because we were having less than 20% load when it was in beta flight, when normally on like the Radix or the Holy Bro boards that I have in my other two quads, they're up in the 30 to 40% range while sitting, not even to mention the Gremlin's up in like the 50 or 60 just when sitting there, which is not exactly good. So really happy with that board. VTX, I haven't found out the brand, but it is switchable from 25 to 500 milliwatts, so that is good, and I'll be taking advantage of that. Currently have that set up as a 200 milliwatt system, paired up with this Runcam Swift 2 camera up front there as well, and the ESCs are 30 amps. So yeah, that's about it there. Went ahead and mounted my receivers in the antenna tubes and got my video antenna mounted up top. There is obviously no session mount because I don't have a session like I said, so we're just going to leave that off until I get one, if I ever do, or we get some other mount for this frame. So yeah, that's pretty much it here. On the bottom, we do have my flight pack of choice, which is a Tattoo 1300 milliamp hour 75C 4-cell pack, and that is a little bit smaller than some of the other packs I have, and I'll probably be upgrading to the Ovonic 1550 80C packs that are about the same size, and you obviously get more milliamp hour readings. So this one should be able to handle that just fine on these 2306 motors, but I'm really excited for that as well. So let's go ahead. You can see we've got our radio powered on, and we've got our screen on as well. Let's see what happens when you plug this thing in. Alright, so there we have it. We need to check our props just to make sure they're not hitting anything. And I went ahead and configured everything up in beta flight just the way I like it with my rates, which if you are wondering, that is 800 degrees a second with a 30% expo. So it's moderately snappy. Obviously it's not crazy, but I like to keep things smooth, so that's where you're going to find that to shine the best, at around 800 milliseconds, or 800 degrees per second there. But yeah, we've got our OSDL set up. You probably can't see it, but you'll see it in the next video here in a few minutes when I go out and film that. But yeah, this is just really, really nice. I found out the current sensor is not calibrated properly. It says since plugging this in, we have drained 400 milliamp hours, which is way, way too high. It's rapidly increasing. We're currently drawing 30 amps, so I need to go ahead and calibrate that in beta flight a little bit later. But for now, on the DX6, we got our arm switch back here. I went ahead and set up the turtle mode in the center, so flip over after crash mode as well, and the angle mode, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and give this thing an arm, and I'll show you guys how this works. You can see right here, very smooth motors overall. I'm really happy with it on these HQ V1S props. So really excited to go ahead and get this thing out and flying. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and head out for a hover test. Alright, so we're out here for the hover test on the Multi-Rotor Mania Reaper frame with the 2306 Hawksky motors. Let's go ahead and get it armed up and get it up in the air. So here we go. Very, very smooth quad on the V1S props from HQ. Hovers at right about a quarter throttle, which is really good. I mean, it's a very small multi-rotor to be running 2306 motors. This would be probably something you'd want to run 2205s or even 2204s on. So this is an interesting little combination for maximum power. You can see we just went about 100 feet up in the air in a split second. So that's really good. Flies really good. Very, very smooth. Obviously, we don't know anything about cornering or prop wash yet, but is running, I guess, stock PIDs. So loops and our flips and rolls are really, really simple. I mean, there's no resistance to do that. There's no prop wash just coming vertically down. It's just very, very aggressive on that throttle. I mean, as to be expected with such a small build, but I'm really happy with it. It's very smooth. I do not feel any jitters at all, which is, again, really, really good. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring it in for a landing. There we are, guys. That is it for the Multi-Rotor Mania Reaper frame we just got here. I'm really happy with it overall. So yeah, so stay tuned for an FPV video coming out very soon, just like we did for the others, and I'm really excited for that, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun to rip around the park with this thing. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.